Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Shadow Stitch, and I like solo running Pokemon Black and White. So first up, I do want to say thank you guys so much for the support on the first few videos of the channel. It's really appreciated, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. So after talking to some people and getting some advice and stuff like that, I have decided to actually switch to a weekly schedule with these. So every week on Wednesdays, we will be seeing a Pokemon Solo Challenge for Black and White. And so yeah, be sure to subscribe if you're interested in all of that. But enough about all that, because you're here to see me suffer, because we are going to be playing with Eelektross this week. So Eelektross on its own is actually a fantastic Pokemon. We have very solid bulk in 85 HP and 80 in both defenses, very solid attack in 115 and 105 in special attack. Pretty slow at 50 base speed, but it's not really that bad. Its level up move pool is held back a little bit because it is a stone evolution, but it's definitely made up for with its TM moveset, where we have hitters like Dragon Claw, Brick Break, Wild Charge for strong physical stab, and we even have stuff like Acrobatics, which is pretty sweet. So overall though, Eelektross on its own is actually a pretty fantastic Pokemon. And it even has the Levitate ability with our electric typing. It effectively has no weakness, which is very cool. Even to this day, it is pretty much the only Pokemon that has no weakness, which is awesome. However, one thing that's going to hold it back is it has the slow growth rate. This is going to be our first slow growth rate Pokemon, and of course, we level up in these playthroughs. So yeah, we're gonna see how we start as a Tynamo. Let's bring it in. Yeah, although we have okay stats for the early point in the game, we have 4 moves. And that is the only 4 moves that we will ever have as a Tynamo. Tackle, Thunder Wave, Spark, and Charge Beam we have to stick with until level 39 when it evolves into an electric. This is gonna be a fun one, boys and girls. So yeah, definitely not looking forward to this one for sure. So yeah. This is a suggestion by my friend Camel because, as I can only expect, he hates me, so he wants to see me suffer. But anyway, let's go ahead and get things started. We start our timer as we load up our save to select our starter, and we'll see how much hair I can pull out whenever I'm playing with this Pokemon. Alright, so we do preload our starter before we play the game. So I'm able to get a max IV. Tynamo, we decided to go with the naive nature this time around to give us a little bit of jump with our speed at the cost of some special defense. As long as we're playing correctly, we shouldn't really need to worry about taking special hits too much during this playthrough, and we are able to get through the starters here pretty easily. I decided to give Sharon the superior line by taking Oshawott, so he does have the advantage over us by resisting electric, but of course we don't have an advantage over Bianca, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect for sure. So we do not really have too much of a problem starting off. We actually have pretty decent stats for this point in the game. We have some okay moves. 65 base power Spark behind Stab is actually really strong for this point in the game. So we actually don't struggle too much at all in these first few fights, which is definitely very nice. However, of course, our slow growth rate is really holding us back because we are not even level 6 until we have to do a little bit of mini grinding right there. So N isn't going to be much of an issue right here. Neither is Bianca, as we leave the first route. And yeah, then we can go ahead and head into the dream yard, grab our monkey, and battle Sharon, which also isn't really going to be much of a problem. So we're going to go ahead and skip all the way to the gym, where our first major hurdle happens. Alright, so we face off against Silent, and this is going to be pretty much a strategy for all fights that have multiple Pokemon. We're just going to spam Charge Beam and hope we get good luck. So we don't quite finish off the little pup there, but we have enough Charge Beam boosts where we're actually doing a solid amount of damage to the Pansage. We do cut it a little bit close there, and despite hitting with a resisted attack, we are actually able to finish off the monkey and get our first gym badge, thankfully with no resets, which is pretty sweet. So we take out all the guys at the Dream Yard, use our one mandatory use HM with Cut, and then we're able to move on to Route 3, where we have our next rival fight with Sharon. So Sharon is much closer to our level now, and he does have growth to boost all of his stats. So, you know, with us not hitting very hard with Tackle, him lowering our defenses and boosting his own offenses, on top of that, healing with an Oran Berry, he's able to pretty much plow through us as we're not fast enough to knock him out with tackles. So we do take our first reset there. We're going to give it another shot here where we're going to give Charge Beam a go. So hopefully, despite the resistance, we're able to, you know, boost up enough so we can power on through. It's actually doing about the same amount of damage as Tackle was, but an unlucky crit from a Vine Whip means that we don't really make it there. So we're definitely gonna have to think of something better for this battle right here. So third time's the charm, as they always say, right? I have another idea, and that is going to be introducing some yellow magic. So we're going to go ahead and slap on a Thunder Wave to hurt his consistency, and it instantly pays off because he does get paralyzed immediately, which is very nice. And thanks to that, we are actually able to muscle through and tackle down the Snivy, and all that's left is a Purloin, so we should be pretty set, and we are, which is absolutely fantastic. So the Sharon did give us our first two resets, but that's not going to be the last that he gives us, spoiler alert. So yeah, we're going to head over to Wellspring Cave, clear out the grunts there, and nothing else really on this bridge is going to cause any more problems for us. So we're going to go ahead and head into Nacrene, clear out all the trainers in the Pinwheel Forest, and then it's going to be time to head into the gym and face off against N. Yeah, End isn't really too much of a problem. He has two Pokemon that are weak to Spark, and his Timber isn't really that big of a deal. But he is a major rival, I guess, so we do have to show him at least a little bit of respect and show him off here. So we end up taking out N fairly easily, and we're able to move on to the gym. None of the trainers give us too much trouble, but we do cut it a little close against the Herdier Scientist, and we're able to finish off all the trainers and get ready for Lenora. So Lenora is a major roadblock for us, and there really is only one strategy: hit Charge Beam and pray. So we're only at level 19 thanks to our slow growth rate, even though we have battled every single trainer in the area, and we do not outspeed the Watchog, so a Retaliate comes out and just obliterates us. But we did get the experience from the Herdier, so we're able to just do some nice solid blackout training, because we do gain 600 plus experience every time we're actually able to knock out that Herdier, which is pretty solid. So we're gonna head right back in here and we're going to continually do this. We have no other trainers in the area, so the only other option would be battling wild Pokemon. But the problem is we don't even consistently knock out the Herdier, which is not great. So yeah, this isn't even the most consistent blackout training that we can do. Yeah, not the best for sure. So we're going to be just at this for a little while, which is just not good, not very fun. Starting at level 21, we actually are able to outspeed, or at least speed tie, with the Watchog, which is pretty good, but it's still not quite enough. So let's go ahead and skip right ahead to the finally winning attempt after 14 resets. And here we go. We have made it all the way to level 22 with our blackout training. We consistently outspeed the Watchog now, which is great, and we even get to dodge a takedown there from the Herdier, which is awesome. We only take a Leer from the Watchog, and thanks to Lenora's weird AI, we're actually able to muscle through with Charge Beam and get the dub at long last. So yeah, there really isn't too many other options that we can go for there. Like, we just have to spam Charge Beam and pray, and hopefully consistently knock out the Herdier for good experience. So yeah, it's definitely a roadblock that a lot of Pokemon run into, but, you know, not nearly as bad as our Tynamo did right there. It's definitely going to have to be something that we luck through. So anyway, let's go ahead and skip right ahead to it, because we do end up having to go through all of the Pinwheel Forest. We do run into our first ground type, but with Tackle, it's not really that big of a deal. So we clear out most of the trainers here, grab the TM for Grass Knot, and we're going to move on all the way to Castelia City. While in Castelia City, we grab our usual pickups like the TM for Rest and of course the Eviolite. But while going up another skyscraper and talking to this girl, we actually get the TM for Attract, which will come in handy for sure, potentially down the road. While I'm up here, I'm going to head out to Route 4 and do a bunch of training out there with all the trainers, and especially the fishermen, which give a decent amount of experience. But even with that, I still don't think we're ready, so we're going to clear out the entire Battle Company Tower as well, and just then we might be enough to finish this out with Burgh. So yeah, let's go ahead and see though, because we are pretty much ready to go up against Burgh now. After clearing out a couple of the gym trainers and all that training we did, we're at level 28, which is pretty solid. And what do you know, we're going to be spamming Charge Beam. So yeah, we actually pick up a nice two-shot on the Whirlipede, do miss one on the Dwebble, which sucks, and we're able to get the one-shot there. And even though it's resisted, we're actually going to get a nice solid crit, but it puts it in healing range, and we just don't have enough PP and we don't have enough health, and we end up dropping to a Razor Leaf there, which is very unfortunate. So I'm going to do a tiny bit more training in the gym. We are going to black out and keep the experience, and we're going to give it one more shot. Alright, here we go for take 2. We're going to just spam Charge Beam again. We start off strong by missing one, which is fantastic. And we are just not getting the special attack boost, but we finally pick up one. Get to level 29 thanks to the little bit of extra training we did. I finish off the Dwebble right there, which is great. And we only have 4 Charge Beams left, and this thing does love spamming Protect. So I'm not really very hopeful right here. I decided to just start spamming out Tackle, so maybe we can have some luck there. We spread a little bit of yellow magic, and we're just not doing very much damage. But it's wanting to spam String Shot a lot, and we actually are able to muscle through, which is very solid, very fun for sure right there. So yeah, after only one reset, we're actually able to take take a win there against Burgh, which is very, very solid. So pretty sweet. So not too shabby. Definitely thought that might have been a bigger roadblock for sure. So let's go ahead and head up. Bianca on Route 4 is no issue at all. And I'm a little bit cocky, and we save a little bit of time by not saving in front of Sharon, and we're immediately punished with that. So yeah, we do end up taking a reset to Sharon as well. So we end up having to run all the way back. So let's see if we can make that happen. I learned my lesson, save up, and it is time to fight Sharon once again. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't bother saving. This is definitely a very, very annoying fight, especially with all the sand. So I don't know why I figured that would be a good idea. So once again, start with a little yellow magic, and that is the major problem is that he has Leech Seed. Thankfully, I'm able to dodge it the first time, which is just so nice. And thanks to our yellow magic, we're able to power through there and hack some out a little bit. So thankfully, the Servine is the only real major problem in this entire fight. So we're able to take care of that pretty easily. So we're going to go ahead and clear out pretty much all the trainers and even go over to the Desert Resort early to do a lot of training over there. However, while I'm there, I run into a backpacker with a Maractus, and I was not fully healed going into this fight, so we actually end up taking a reset from her. So not fantastic. So that's great. That is going to be 17 resets so far. So yeah, I end up coming back, finishing off the rest of the trainers, and then we're going to go ahead and head into Nimbasa City. In Nimbasa City, we do our usual chores, picking up the TM for return, even though we can't use it right now, grabbing the Strength HM, doing a little bit of Pokemon dress up. Then we head out to Route 16 to grab the rare candy and do a little bit of training, bringing us up to level 33. We do cut it a little bit close against this guy with the 2 Whirlipedes, but it's not that big of a deal. We heal up, and then we actually head over to Route 5 to clear out all the trainers there as well, bringing us a decent amount of experience before it's time for our date with N. N isn't too much of a problem, as usual. He does start off with the Sandal, which could be a little bit annoying hitting Torment, but it just hits a weak Assurance this time around, which is very, very nice. Darmaka can hit really hard, but thankfully it doesn't really crit or anything like that with Hustle, which is nice. We are two-shotting pretty much everything, but thanks to some more yellow magic from Spark, we're able to avoid any damage from the Scraggy, and we just one-shot the Sigilift, which is really nice. So N isn't really a trouble at all. So we headed to the gym immediately, and we are able to take out all the trainers in here and get us a decent amount of experience, and in no time it is time for us to face off with Elesa. So Elesa is definitely a little bit of a problem for sure, because her Zebstrika has the ability Lightning Rod. So as you can see, she's always going to switch into that on us, and we did unfortunately get staticked by the first Emolga. So thanks to that, and just not having the best physical outputs right here, or having 2 healing items, we're going to just take yet another reset right here. So yeah, we're going to give it one more shot. Who knows? Maybe we just had some bad luck right there, and we're just gonna go ahead and give it another shot. So we're gonna Spark, and then she's once again going to switch into the Zebstrika, so we get to get a nice preemptive hit on. But it does look like it's always going to be a 4-hit KO with the Tackle, and then a Super Potion is going to heal us all the way back up. So I really need to get a little bit more training in right here if I can help it. So we're actually going to reset right here. I'm going to give it one more shot, and then we're going to potentially just black out here if we can help it. So yeah, one more shot, who knows, maybe we can crit or something like that. And but it's just not happening. So there's that. So we do want to get to level 35 because 35 is an extra damage rounding threshold, which is pretty cool. So we'll be doing a little bit more damage. I don't know if it's going to be enough for us to make it a 3-hit KO on the Substrika, but you know, it's worth a shot, right? So once again, we have to take a slow blackout here because we do have our full team with us. So yeah, not the best right here. So definitely going to do a little bit of extra training, come back and give it another shot. So I come back at level 35 over a damage rounding threshold. So hopefully that's enough. We actually are doing significant amounts of damage more to the Emolga, enough to actually push it into healing range. And I guess that broke her AI a little bit because she didn't switch out into the Substrika. We did get staticked a little bit, and it does not look like Tackle is in range of being a 3-shot on the Substrika, so we do end up taking another reset there. But I think we actually are really close to this. Potentially a well-timed critical hit could be really helpful here in this fight on the Substrika. So we're just going to keep giving this another shot. So we're going to start off, hit the Emolga right here. It actually doesn't heal, but it also doesn't switch. Oh wait, never mind. She does heal. I'm stupid. So yeah, definitely really nice there to get one of the hyper potions out of the way. And we're able to just muscle through the Substrika. We get really close here to hit the second hyper potion. We get paralyzed by a spark, but a nice critical hit there with Tackle is able to push us in, and all that's left is one more Emolga, and another critical hit does it. Let's go. So definitely very lucky right there. But you know what? I'd rather be lucky than good. So there is that. So Elesa is finally done. And after only 21 resets, not too bad. So let's go ahead and head on out of here. And we're going to heal up and then head out to battle Route 5 Sharon. So yeah, Sharon's been a little bit of an inconsistent problem for us this whole run. We do start off against the Liepard and do get hit by a Torment, which is definitely very, very annoying. It's not really going to be that big of a deal for all of his other Pokemon, but of course the Servine, our only real reliable damage output, is going to be the Tackles, and we can't hit with that. We get hit by a Leech Seed, which is pretty much all but going to seal our fate right there. We can't even spam Charge Beam to try to get boosts, and he of course has Leaf Tornado, which can even lower our accuracy. So all that together means that we're just not able to muscle our way through, and we take another reset. And we take a couple more resets on this. I mean, that Servine is just like a huge problem for us. Like, if it ever lands a Leech Seed, it is just pretty much wraps for us because we just can't really out-damage it. And especially under Torment, it's just a major problem. So let's go ahead and skip right ahead to the winning attempt, though. After a few more tries, we just power through the Liepard as usual. Do hit with a flinch, but of course we do get tormented, because of course we do, because Torment is just the best move in the game apparently. So yeah, that is great. Thanks to a little bit of yellow magic, though, we're going to slap onto the Servine. It does get immediately paralyzed, and now it's time to start powering up with Charge Beam. We do land a nice solid little crit right there. And between Charge Beam and Tackle and some yellow magic, we're actually able to power through, and all that's left is the Tranquil, and there we go. We're at level 36. We're getting so close to our final evolution right here. So We get to run into Alder, meet him for the first time, which is pretty cool. I always like it whenever the champion makes an appearance during the main story. And then we beat up some toddlers, and we're able to move on to Driftvale City. Before heading inside the cold storage, I actually head up here across some of the grass, run into a herdier, which is a little bit annoying for sure. But there's a heart scale up here that is potentially useful for us later once we get to Mistralton City, so we can relearn a move. Nothing really too big happens in the cold storage. We clear out pretty much all the trainers because we are speedrunning our way to level 39. We need it before we get to Clay, and we are very, very close. So after clearing out all the trainers, though, we're not quite there, and even after the plasma goons were not there either, so we need to do a little bit more training. So I head over to Route 6, clear out as many of those trainers as I can get to, and after the final ranger, at long last, we evolve up into Electric, and it is time to take on Clay and his gym. And just starting off with even the first gym trainer, I gotta say, it is so nice to actually have moves that do a decent amount of damage. We got Crunch upon evolving as well, which is really nice. We have Return now finally, which is definitely maxed out in power, and we even have Spark for some stab damage. I forget where I'm going here in the gym, but none of these trainers are going to cause any problems for us whatsoever, so let's go ahead and skip right ahead to Clay. So Clay is not actually going to be that big of a deal. We have Return to take out the Krokorok. It is just a clean one-shot, which is honestly a little surprising. Palpitoad does hang on, but that's actually beneficial for us since, you know, he's able to actually waste both of his healing items right here, which is really nice. And all that's left is just the Excadrill, which is definitely really scary, but we have the power of love on our side as we slap an Attract on it, and that is just inconsistent enough for us to spam a little bit of crunches. I was hoping for defense drops. Nothing really comes of it, but that's okay. And we're actually able to win the fight first try. So we are finally off the struggle bus, it seems. And because we actually have a half-decent Pokemon on our hands, which is just so nice. So that is really nice. For sure. And as we head our way out of the city, Bianca jumps us, but, you know, we're off the struggle bus, baby. There is no problems there whatsoever. And we're able to make our way through the entire Chargestone Cave. We pick up our Thunderstone, which we're not going to use quite yet, because there is one more move that I really need on before we evolve. And we grab the rare candy on the bottom floor so we can help us get to that potential very important move. And then we are going to get ready for N. So N shouldn't be too much of a problem, but unfortunately I did get rid of Charge Beam and I kept Spark. I didn't think it would be that big of a problem, but a lot of his Pokemon here are actually very physically inclined, especially the Pharaoh Seed. Thankfully, it is a male, so we are able to slap an Attract on it to hurt its consistency. But after an Iron Defense, our Crunch is doing absolutely nothing. All of our moves are resisted. I'm really hoping for defense drops here, and it's able to get through the Attract just enough. So we actually end up just barely finishing that off, but we're left at 1 HP, so all we need to do is one-shot the Clink. We just barely don't, and we actually take a reset here to end. So yeah, definitely a major mistake right there, not keeping Charge Beam. I don't really think that we needed Spark for anything compared to Charge Beam. So yeah, definitely a bad choice of moveset right there. Because if we have Charge Beam, we would be fine because, you know, Pharisee doesn't have the best special defense and it's not boosting its special defense. So next unit, we're going to give this another try. Joltik is no problem at all. One shot. And then we're going to give Pharisee another try with the Power of Love. Gets through, gets up in Iron Defense. And we're going to give Return a little bit of a try. It is a little bit stronger thanks to dodging some things. But another Iron Defense goes up. And we're just taking too much recoil damage right here, which is just super unfortunate. We have pretty much the same exact situation, but this time we die to the Iron Barbs. And yeah, I don't really have much other of a play. Thanks to our poor moveset choice, we actually end up taking 2 resets here to end, and we don't really have any other options other than just trying our best to muscle through. So yeah. We're going to give it one more shot here before maybe I have to actually spend that evolution stone, but we'll see. So 2 sparks finish off the Boulder, return on the Joltik, and now it is time. Is the Power of Love going to be enough? It does start off with a Metal Claw instead. That's very nice, but does get up in Iron Defense. And yeah, we just have to keep going, but a critical hit comes through. Let's go, Electric. There we go. That's what we needed. So that's actually legitimately exactly what we needed. So yeah, definitely need to keep Charge Beam there for that fight. That will definitely make that way more consistent. But we do take our 2 resets there to end. Definitely avoidable resets, but it is what it is. And now we make our way into Mistralton City. And at long last, we are here into the first gym where we actually have an advantage for once. Let's freaking go. So we can stop by the move relearner there, but I am actually really close to getting Thunderbolt naturally at level 44. That I actually don't think that it's worth reteaching Discharge with that heart scale. So I'm actually going to progress on forward, and we're going to head up to the Celestial Tower, ring the bell, and do a little bit of extra training before it is time for us to take on Skyla's gym. During our first gym trainer, we actually learned Thunderbolt. We're going to throw it right over Spark, and now we pretty much have our go-to for this entire gym. So it is time for us to just skip right ahead to Skyla. As you can imagine, none of these trainers are too much of a problem. And yeah, neither is Skylar herself. Yeah, we're going to Thunderbolt 1. Oh, we get paralyzed. We get flinched. Thunderbolt 1. Thunderbolt 2. And of course, Thunderbolt 3 after a level up on her 4 times effective Swanna. And yeah, this is nice, easy cakewalk. Oh my god, it's so nice to not have to struggle at all at the gym for once, which is very, very nice. So yeah, very happy with this, and we get the Acrobatics TM, which is very solid. So yeah, very cool that we don't have to struggle at all, and I think it is definitively easy to say we are off the struggle bus for sure. And we even have one more fight with Sharon to prove it. He starts off with his Unpheasant this time, and yeah, a Thunderbolt just launches it out of the sky. I don't know why I decided to go for a return there. Maybe I was just trying to hit into a Protect to save some PP. But even though it does land a Leaf Seed on us, we are actually doing decent enough damage to easily 2-shot through that. And Pampor is no problem at all. And of course the Liaparb is last, but you know, despite us flinching us with a Fake Out, it is no issue at all either. So yeah, we are cooking right now, and nothing is going to stand in our way. We get Surf from Alder after he shows off his bionic legs, and we can move all the way through Twist Mountain and head into Icarus City. In Icarus City, we can head into the Pokemon Center and talk to this lady and grab the TM for Brick Break, but we're not going to immediately head into the gym. We're going to top off on some healing items and max repels, because we're going to be heading back and doing a little bit of backtracking for some rare candies. So yeah, we're going to definitely want to push ourselves here. We just need one more level because we have 6 rare candies available to us at this point in the game. And we're going to pick one of them up here at Route 2. We're going to backtrack to Nakreen and then head over to Route 3 for the one here across the pond. And then in Pinwheel Forest, now that we have Surf, the guy has moved, and we can grab the one here hidden in the grass. And with that, we have our 6 rare candies, and we are able to level up when we hit level 48. So we head into the gym, clear out all the trainers, and on the final one, we hit level 48 and spend all of our rare candies. So we hit level 54 and we learn Coil. And if you remember from the Superior run, this move is absolutely fantastic, boosting both our attack, defense, and accuracy. So that is great, and we're even able to immediately spend our Thunderstone. And at long last, we have our final form here with Eelektross, where we can even give it Brick Break. And now it's time for the joke that is Bryson. Yep, Bryson is no issue. Brick Break 1, easy peasy. Brick Break 2 on the Beartic was actually kind of thinking maybe it could live because it is pretty bulky. No, not a chance. And then Brick Break 3 on the Diagonal, that thing never stood any frigging chance in hell. So yeah, there we go, easy peasy. We are going to claim our 7th badge, and now it is time for the long plasma gauntlets, both at Dragon Spiral Tower and in the Desert Resort. But there is absolutely no issues in any one of those, and there's not really anything notable to say because we have our final evolution. We are cooking right now. We are good, and there is nothing going to stand in our way, especially because we have a solid setup move. So we're gonna skip all of that and go ahead and come all the way back to Icarus City because we have one final rival battle with Bianca. So her Stoutland does start things off with an Intimidate, which is definitely a little bit annoying, but it's not really that big of a deal. So thanks to it having Roar, I decided I don't really want to set up on this thing, so I just muscle through it with some Brick Breaks. Embor comes out, I am just going to hit it with a Thunderbolt, and it's a nice clean one-shot. Simisage is up next. We hit it with a Crunch, which is slightly more base power. Probably should have actually set up at least one coil, because the Musharna does actually live, gets us with a Hypnosis, but there's really nothing that it can do, and we're able to easily claim the win there against Bianca. After listening to Ghetsis' speech and clearing out all the trainers in Drayden's gym, it's time for us to take on the final gym leader as well. Fracture starts things off. It always likes to go for a Dragon Dance, but we have a setup move of our own, and all it has is Dragon Tail, so it doesn't even matter. One return is easily enough to knock it out. We set up a second coil for safety on the Drudagon, and then we're able to knock that out as well, taking a little bit of rough skin damage. Haxorus is last, but one more return is plenty enough to finish it off, and we hit level 58, pushing us over our next damage rounding threshold and claiming our 8th badge. So no trouble whatsoever with that fight there. But we do have one more major fight, and that is going to be with Sharon on Route 10. It starts off with the Unpheasant yet again, and we're going to set up just a single coil as it does taunt us. Thunderbolt easily one-shots right there. Superior, it's time to shine, but not so much. It tries to boost with its own coil, but It's just not going to be enough to stop our 2-shot with return. Sibapore, same deal, 1-shot with a Thunderbolt, and then Liepard is just so pathetically frail. Not even a crit Night Slash would have mattered, and it drops to one more return right there. So yeah, dude, it is so nice to not have to worry about any shenanigans in this endgame. Such a juxtaposition from how we started, right? It's just absolutely crazy how well this Pokemon is doing in the endgame once it actually has some stats and can actually learn more than 4 moves. So yeah, I do choose to take on a few more trainers along the way in Victory Road to push us up another level, and then without much hassle, we are standing in front of the Pokemon League. Before we enter the league, though, we're going to head back to Victory Road and jump down this cliff, then head over this way and grab the TM for Dragon Claw, which is going to be very, very useful in some of the fights going forward. Then, as soon as we get out, we're going to head down this other cliff and grab the TM for Wild Charge, finally giving us a strong physical Electric Stab. And with that, after some moveset adjustments, it is time for us to take on the league. Let's save up and let's make this happen. So first up is going to be Chantal. She, of course, starts off with her Cofagrigus that loves to spread burn, but thanks to the good old classic Resto Chesto, this shouldn't be too much of a problem at all. So Chantal loads it up. Cofagrigus starts this off, and we're going to coil up, and does land the burn, no big deal. Coil up again, hits us with a powerful Shadow Ball, but that is pretty much the only damage it's going to get a chance to hit us with, as 1 crunch after a rest is going to finish that off. Golurk comes in, same thing. Then we have Chandelure. It can burn us with Flame Body, which could be very annoying, but I think we would have been fine either way, as Jellicent is the last, and 1 more crunch finishes it off. Caitlin's definitely going to be a little bit of second verse, same as the first, as we're going to coil up only once, and that's all we really need, because we're able to easily tank a Psychic. And then it is crunch time. So 1 crunch knocks out the Reuniclus easily with a critical hit. Don't even think it really needed it. Same with the Sigilyph, then the Musharna, and then last but not least, of course, is going to be her Gothitelle. So yeah, no trouble whatsoever here with this one. Now that we don't need Crunch anymore, we can drop it for Brick Break, and we can always reteach Wild Charge, so we're actually going to drop that as well for Acrobatics. So we have our moveset ready for both Grimsley and Marshall right here. So very simple stuff against Grimsley, so let's go ahead and see how we would just wipe the floor with him. Scrafty can be a little bit annoying thanks to Sand Attack, but Coil does not care about that. We set up 2 Coils just because he does have the Crocodile that likes to come in and immediately intimidate us, but that is not going to be enough. Does outspeed thanks to our slow speed, but it's not really going to matter, as our defenses are definitely buffed up enough for us to easily take that hit. And a few Brick Breaks away, and we're able to easily finish this one off. Normally Marshall's a lot of an issue because, you know, he has Bulldoze to slow you down and stuff like that, but here he's only really a problem because he has Stone Edge, which is a high critical hit ratio. So I do have to spend my rest so I can get the powered up Acrobatics off the Chesto Berry. And then we're going to go ahead and just power through with Acrobatics. Sock, of course, lives thanks to its Sturdy, but all it does is really waste a little bit of time with the full restores, as we're able just to easily knock it out. So Conkeldurr, same thing. We just knock it out with 1 clean Acrobatics, and then Mienshao is last. It does outspeed us, hit with a jump kick, but it doesn't really matter, as 1 more Acrobatics finishes it off, and now we are finally done with the league. and we head down and get to run face to face with N for one more time. We grab one more rare candy in N's childhood room, and then it is time for us to head in and battle it out with the man himself. We chuck our Master Ball at our Dragon Reshiram, and thanks to us having a full party, we can actually deny adding it to our team, which is definitely very useful because, of course, we want to have the chance with our solo Pokemon to take the lead here, especially against Zekrom, because it is pretty much always coded to go for Fusion Bolt from the start, and that gives us a nice free coil. And it just wastes its time going for a Giga Impact as we set up just enough coils, and then after +4, one Dragon Claw is easily going to knock out the Zekrom. Brick Break is going to cleanly take out the Kling Clang, and then we pretty much are home free outside of some ridiculous hacks. So Zoroark, Vanillux both drop to the Brick Break. It does hit a Focus Blast, definitely really annoying. Caracosta drops down to its Sturdy, does hit a Stone Edge, but does not crit, thankfully. And then all we do is waste a little bit of time here with Brick Break. So his last chance is, of course, with the Archeops. Does he hit the crit? He does not. We hang on with 9 HP. Get to level 64, and that is N taken care of. Very, very nice, very solid. So, but that's not the end of it, because of course we have Getsis as our final fight for the run. Now, Getsis usually is definitely a big problem because not every Pokemon can go into the same fight with the same move pool as with N, but we can easily do that here because, of course, we have the Coil, we have Brick Break and Dragon Claw for attacks, and we have Rest to get rid of this Toxic. This is he's definitely a big troll, but after a few Coils, we're able to hit the Rest on a turn that he just protects. Go for a Dragon Claw. Doesn't quite knock it out, but all it does is hit us with a Shadow Ball. Wastes our time a little bit with a Hyper Potion or Full Restore, and then it is off to the races pretty much right here. Brick Break takes care of the Boufflant incredibly simply. Sidesman Toad to a Dragon Claw in one shot. Hydreigon, of course, is going to outspeed us. It is the fastest Pokemon in the game. Hits us with a pretty solid amount of damage there with a Dragon Pulse, but goes to a Dragon Claw. Same with Bisharp with a Brick Break. And last but not least, the mirror match with Eelektross. And one Dragon Claw is going to be enough, pushing us almost to level 65. You gotta love that slow growth rate. And we have finally completed the game. Timer ends whenever we see the logo on after N's final dialogue. And yeah, I gotta say though, this Pokemon was a struggle early, but once it gets to Eelektross and once it actually gets to even Electric, it is actually not that bad. I'd be very interested to see how Eelektross itself would do. And yeah, there's that. I do actually stop the timer early, and I got so mad about that. I actually did not finish the recording, but that's okay. Once we adjust it for time, it is roughly about 2 hours and 58 minutes, and that will be the time that we put onto the tier list. So yeah, this was a hell of a struggle. Shoutouts to my friend Camel, who I guess hates me since he suggested this. But I did attempt this for a third time to try to patch up some of the mistakes, like around Chargestone N, and of course, you know, stopping my timer early and getting mad and freaking ending the recording early, because I don't even have an in-game time for this, but you know, it is what it is. But I kind of got stuck at Lenora, and after about 30 resets, I kind of gave up. So, who knows? Maybe someday we'll come back and we'll revisit this, but for now, I think I'm pretty good. So yeah, this was definitely the toughest challenge so far by a long shot, and I think the time definitely shows. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the game nonetheless. I think that it was a fun run, but it was not very fun to play at some points. But once it got to evolve, it pretty much got off the struggle bus, which was pretty cool. So definitely shows the power of evolving and actually learning moves, which is pretty cool. So anyway, though, I hope you guys enjoy like the style that I went into this, cutting out a lot of the less important parts of the run and stuff like that, and just showing you the highlights. I think that is definitely going to make for a more enjoyable video. Yeah, with that said, though, we have struggled enough. I think it is time for us to bring in a Pokemon that I think is going to absolutely destroy this game. And I want to play a Pokemon that I am not going to struggle at all pretty much through the entire run. So come back next week where we take on the game with Crocodile. That's right, the big man is here. So with that said, thank you all so much for stopping by. Like, comment, sub, all that fun stuff. Love y'all. Deuces.